Good day, and thank you for tuning in to this week's episode with the Real Talks with Doc. And if you haven't already, please turn on those post notifications. Like, subscribe to our channel, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, as we love to receive those direct messages from you, and we'd love to be a part of your real estate, your construction experience.
All right. Good morning, Doc.
Good morning to you, Kay.
How's it going?
Kay, it's good to be back. We have not shot a video in almost a month now. You probably noticed this new mark on my head, Kay. Kay just had a little incident in Home Depot, and it was a serious incident. So, nevertheless, we're back. Thank you for being there, supporting us. Thank you for being there, still keeping our social media going, because Doc had to be off the scene for a minute to recover, and I'm still going through recovery. So, Kay, it's good to be back. It's good to, have a chance to interact with our clients out there, our future clients to be, all of our friends, family, fraternity brothers. Shout out to the greatest fraternity in the world, Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, getting ready to celebrate our Founders Day this week. So yeah, Kay, it's good to be back.
Awesome. What's new?
Okay, what's new? We have 4 properties that we delivered that was finished for Thanksgiving. It was a push and a struggle, especially with everything that was going on with the injury, Kay. But nevertheless, clients are happy. Big shout out to the team. Ben Creech, Big Ben stepping up. Elma, Sweet Peter Jeter stepping up. And all of our construction crew managers, Tabello, Umberto, Eddie, who am I missing? Anna, who am I missing? There's one more I'm missing, but shout out to all of our construction crew managers and their push that they gave to make sure that our clients had a great, happy Thanksgiving and they can entertain in their newly renovated space. And it was a good thing to see, Kay. So shout out to the leadership team. Thank you guys for all that you do.
That's awesome. So speaking of that, today we're going to talk about how to plan a kitchen or bathroom remodel without blowing your budget, especially coming into 2026. So I want to start with this question. How much should I expect to spend on a kitchen or bathroom remodel in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area?
Okay, this is a great question because 3 of those 4 renovations were kitchen/bathroom remodels, if not both. And the biggest thing is, as a general contractor, there's always a two-way street. There's the general contractor side and there's the client side. And in both of those sides from day one, you want to have a contractor that communicate in clear, understandable numerical values so you'll know what you're paying up front and those things that can cost your budget to start to increase over the course of the project. And we have not always been good at that, but we've gotten better at that over the years, and we're always looking for constant ways to improve. So when you look at a reputable general contractor, they have to have licensing, they have to have bonding, they have to have a team from project managers to site superintendents to foremen, versus looking at a one-man shop who's kind of juggling between jobs. They may not have the manpower to make sure they have construction workers there every single day that can also impact your construction timeline. When you're looking at it from a client side and evaluating all the potential general contractors you can hire, you should be looking at very important key things. And this is even before you get to the contract of discussing your kitchen and bathroom renovation. The first thing you want to look at is their reputation. What does their online reputation say? What do they say when you interviewing them in the interview process? Are they timely? Are they punctual for your interview when they're coming to look at your job and evaluate your space? You want to evaluate that general contractor because these projects are very expensive when you're hiring reputable, competent, licensed general contractors, and we're going to get into that. So first is the interview process of the general contractor. That's the most important thing. And when you're interviewing the general contractor, you want to see if they're speaking in generalized terms or very specific terms when it comes to the numbers. Because one thing we work very hard on is making sure that we don't have change orders throughout the process because no client likes that. So as experts in the renovation of their kitchen or bathroom or both, it is our job to advise them on specific numerical values of what could be their out-of-pocket or what will be their out-of-pocket costs. And in that interview, we have fixed costs and we have costs that we give allocations on in terms of what they choose in finished selection products. which can vary from, $1,000 to $10,000, literally for a vanity. Same size, but different brand, different amenities on the vanities, different finishes in terms of quality of material. Same size vanity could be a 60-inch vanity that range from $1,000 to $10,000 for the same product. So we allow clients the flexibility and the option to choose what they want in their finished product. And we spell that out in terms of what we're budgeting in their cost allocations versus them. If they go over, you know what? You pay the difference. If you go under, we give you the difference back. So when your general contractor starts to speak in very specific terms like that, it's very important for you to pick up on that and know, okay, this guy's telling me, I learned this new term, bluff, bottom line up front. Like, what can I expect to not blow my budget? So that's the first thing, interviewing the general contractor. Then the second thing is really understanding the simplicity of a contract. A contract should be very detailed, yet simple enough for you to fully follow and understand. And what do I mean by that? Again, going back to fixed cost and allocated cost. Fixed cost is what is it going to cost in terms of labor and pre-drywall material. Allocated costs, what are your finishes going to be that you want to put in this budget before we even start, right? When you're evaluating your contract from a client side looking at a general contractor, you also have to understand that general contractors have general condition costs. Those general condition costs include office administrative fees, include having a management team on staff, your licenses, your insurances, your bonding, fuel, all of those things outside of the labor that takes your construction project, that's needed for your construction project to be very, very successful. Now again, more, established businesses will have those costs. More, meet the guy at the Home Depot who said we can do the job and they don't have a website. You may think you're getting a value proposition in that because the cost is much lower, but you also got to understand there's a lot of risk in that. A lot of risk in the fact that we get it every single week. Contractors just walk up the job. So another important thing to do when you're evaluating the contract is make sure that the terms of the contract does not have you put a lot of money out of pocket and the contractor is receiving more money than they giving you goods and services. So be very mindful of that. Rule of thumb is a contractor should ask no more than 33% of the contract up front. And in that 33%, they're buying all of your initial products and all of those long-term items. Like for instance, sometimes we use special order vanities, when you special order tile, that can take anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks to come in. So from day one, when you make that deposit, make sure that you're holding that general contractor accountable to making sure he's purchasing those things day one, because that's what that 33% is for. Also the mobilization of the project, getting all the equipment on site, getting all the tools on site, mobilizing the crew and getting you locked on their schedule. That's what that 33% is used for, and they should not be asking anything more than that. In some states, it's illegal, like the state of Maryland, for you to ask more than 33% on the contract. So all of that should be crystal clear in the contract for you to follow and for you to understand. And reputable construction companies, they will have that language and they will have that clarity for you. So again, evaluate the contractor, evaluate the contract of the contractor, and now we get to the third phase and making sure that you don't blow your construction budget. The third phase kind of goes hand in hand with the contract. Being able to sit down and thoroughly articulate to your contractor what finishes you want. And this is going to take some legwork on your part. Now look, most contractors, and rightfully so, you got to understand, people have to be compensated for their time. They're not going to sit there and spend a whole lot of time, hours and hours and hours of services to you, and you have not put them under contract. So even in that 33%, once you sign that contract, part of that is for the design team, part of that is for the project manager, part of that is for the foreman to sit with you and help you make these selections and understanding the execution and how those selections will flow in your existing conditions versus what is going to be your finished conditions, your finished product. So your proposed versus construction, right? So that's very important for you to understand that there's a lot of moving parts that can be taking place on something as small as a bathroom renovation, something as large as a big kitchen renovation. So again, that third also gives them some bandwidth to now allocate these resources and these services and these people within their company to you so that you now can start to really narrow in on, okay, what's my style? And my style, do I want, luxury? Do I want Louis Vuitton? Do I want, as long as we're midway in terms of the quality of materials as far as your finished product, that's a decision for you to make. And that's a decision you have to clearly articulate to your contractor. So in those cost allocations from your toilet to your lighting fixtures, to your vanities, to your tile, to your flooring selections, to your appliances in the kitchen, all of those things can really have significant ranges as far as your budget is concerned. I mean, a whole Sub-Zero Wolf kitchen package could cost you literally $80,000. That's just for the kitchen package, right? When you start talking about the wine cooler, the double refrigerator, the freezer part, the 60-inch wood stove, that could be $80,000 for a kitchen package versus a nice little LG kitchen package that can cost you $6,000. So again, you have to be able to know those things because it's your preference, it's your taste, to articulate those things to your general contractor so you know those things before construction even starts and everyone's on the same page. The one bad experience we have is that we go into a project and in the past when we haven't really vetted those things out on the front end, clients start to feel the pinch because they're not thinking through these things. They're not thinking, God dog, I thought a vanity cost $200-$300 when a vanity actually costs $2,000-$3,000. That's a 10-time multiplier. And that's just one item. And then this product costs that, and then clients start to get financially stressed. So again, to avoid that, really vet that contract on the front end and know what those targeted finished items cost are going to be so that again, you're not going into it with any financial strife, you're not going into it with any financial stress. And it's a wonderful working relationship from the start. So again, you vet the contractor, you vet the contract, and then number 3, which is very important, you vet all of the things that you want in terms of what's going in your kitchen or your bathroom renovation so you can be off to a great start.
That's awesome information. So what's a realistic budget to give a contractor when renovating a kitchen and bath?
All right, so for a full bathroom, expect to spend in this area, and we're talking about the DC, District of Columbia, the Maryland, Virginia area, expect for a full bathroom about $20,000. For a full kitchen renovation, expect literally double that, anywhere from $40,000 to $50,000. That's a realistic budget. And we're talking about in a single family home that is anywhere from 3,500 square feet plus. That's what you can expect. Of course, when you start to get in what is considered to be a mansion-sized home, 7,500 square feet or more, a full bathroom renovation can cost you about $30,000. And a full kitchen renovation, when you start getting those mansion high-end kitchen renovations, expect anywhere from $70,000 above. And that's when you start talking about different levels of packages. We have builder's grade, we have mid-level, and then we have luxury. This is how we break our different levels up for our clients to understand. So builder's grade is, stuff, it's builder's grade. I'm not calling out certain builders, but that stuff you go in and you see, the particle board cabinets, right? No wooden parts. And then you get in the mid-level grade where you start to have a hybrid between, top of builder's grade and lower end of luxury grade to make that middle grade. And then you have luxury, and we know how ridiculous luxury can be. So that's what you think about when you go in terms of just starting to gauge, okay, where should my kitchen renovation be? Now, when you start looking at condos are much smaller than single family homes. We're talking, 2,500 square feet or less. Most average size condos in this area. You can now start to talk for a full bathroom renovation about $15,000. For a full kitchen renovation, be prepared to spend about $20,000 to $30,000 for that range so that you have some kind of idea of what a good contractor charges. Again, if you go to the Home Depot and you talk to Jesus or Jose, they may tell you $5,000. Hey, look, that's a chance you take that I wouldn't recommend. So get a reputable, get a licensed general contractor to make sure that you have a great project and a great experience.
For homeowners, are there any financial assistance that exists out there?
Yeah, so a lot of our homeowners, believe it or not, have a ton of equity in their home. And you can go and you can take out what is called a HELOC, which stands for Home Equity Line of Credit. Now, okay, you can edit this part out, do the little bloop, 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 bloop thing. But yeah, Home Equity Line of Credit, HELOC. And what they will allow you to do is a lot of times they'll allow you to borrow up to 80% against the equity that's in your home. They like to leave 20% in case something happened, they got a little cushion. So say for instance, you got $100,000 equity in your home, 80% of that is $80,000. You can take that out and you can use that to actually complete your home renovation. That's one of the most common things that we see clients do. Liquidating retirements, there's penalties with that. I wouldn't recommend that. But a home equity line of credit is easy access, untapped assets that clients can easily tap into for these renovations.
All right, last question. What are budget-friendly upgrades that can be done to add resale value?
Changing appliances, changing cabinets, changing your flooring to be more updated, to look more new. Those are easy, quick in and out finishes that you can do to really add value to your home. And so we know the two highest things that sell a home, or the two most critical things that give you highest return on your home resale value, is the kitchen and owner suite. Those are the two things people look at. Think about it. The king of the castle, the queen of the castle. They want their owner suite to be nice. They want their owner's bath to be nice. So that bathroom is critical. And the kitchen, they want that to be nice as well. So those are two key things that sell homes. Some homes don't have basements. Some people argue, well, what about the basement? Well, the basement a lot of times is for the man cave. We give the wife the rest of the house, right? But the basement is, normally for the men in their man cave. So I support you men out there to make sure that you fight for your man cave. You fight for your basement territory. Give the wife the rest of the house. Give the first floor, second floor, third floor, first floor, however many floors you got in your house. Let the wife have that. Let the queen be happy.
Okay, awesome. So headed into the holidays, what's some words of wisdom you have for homeowners?
Headed into the holidays, words that I have for homeowners is pray over your house. Always put God first in your house. Always make sure that your house is filled with His blessings, whatever God you serve. Always make sure there's a presence of God in your house, so your house will be protected. And we want all of your homes to be protected. We want there never to be any danger or any things that are outside of just being productive and positive to ever happen in your home outside that. So always make sure that your home is filled with the presence of your God that you serve, number one. Second thing that you can do for these Christmas holidays is just be wise. Be mindful of your surroundings. Make sure that we're in a season now, we do have some bad actors out there. So don't give them a reason to target your house. So when you're loading gifts, going inside the house, attempt to do it in the most inconspicuous areas possible. If you got a back garage door, take your gifts in the back garage, especially if you're living in the city where you got eyes on the streets everywhere. So just be mindful of those things. And the third most important thing is make sure that you go through and you do a thorough visual assessment to make sure that your house is insulated as possible and you're not allowing heat to escape and cold air to get in. So go through and look for any gaps in the window. The perfect time to do this is at night, when you can take a flashlight and just go to the exterior of your home, or even in the interior, and have somebody standing outside. Just do the flashlight test. And the rule is that if any light can permeate any cracks or seams anywhere in your wall, you got a leakage problem. You want to get a contractor to fill those leakage problems ASAP, because that can wreak havoc on your utility bill. So we don't want you losing unnecessary energy during this very cold winter month. So make sure you go through and just do a visual assessment to make sure that your house is insulated and you're not letting any heat escape and any cold air get in. So if you think about those three things, you should have a very, very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
All right, so until next time.
Until next time, as we go into this Christmas holiday, make sure that you tell your loved ones that you love them even more than you ever told them before, because love is a very, very powerful thing, and love conquers all, love restores all, love rejuvenates all, love makes all right. So make sure you love on your loved ones as much as you can this Christmas season, and tell them that you love them as often as you can, because love always, at the end of the day, rules the day. And with that being said and done, I will see you at our next construction site. Happy holidays from Tebow Residential and all of our family to you and yours.